The red light of the setting sun beat into my eyes directly from behind the monitor, hinting that it was time to take my mind off, turn off the computer, rinse my face, and drain all today's thoughts about work. Then go to the parking lot, start the engine of the Royce, and turning on relaxing music, fly home. But I didn't like these reports. I didn't like them. I was squinting at the columns of numbers on the screen when the office door opened. The girl who came in unceremoniously tapped her heels on the floor and sat down opposite me. I blessed her in my mind because the sun was shining on the back of her head now. Her brown hair seemed to burst into flames. "What can I do for you?" The girl sighed. A mirror popped out of her kneeling purse. She smoothed her hair and touched her lips. The brown eyes are now looking at me. "Albert Semyonovich," a melodious voice rang out. "I know how stupid this is going to sound, but why waste long introductions? I am your daughter, Ilana Albertovna." I pushed the mouse away with my finger and folded my hands in front of me. Ilana looks calm, even with some defiance. I almost smiled, almost ruined the whole game. "Okay," I said. "Excellent. So, in your opinion, it's that simple? Barge into the CEO's office, say, 'I'm your daughter,' and that's it? Where is the evidence? It would be worth starting with them, but you can't have them. It's been too long since I've seen my daughter. Almost." Then I glanced at the monitor. 2 hours ago. "All the wounds have healed," I told her. "Go away." And she left. I left. Ilana grimaced. "I called my friend. We went to a cafe. I hardly even talked about work, honestly." I spread my hands. And then this psycho came to me. Lenka took off and I can't drag him home. He didn't take a step back. I had to come here. The guards wouldn't let him in. "Crazy?" I leaned forward. "Did he threaten you?" "No, it's nothing like that." Ilana waved her hand. "He was talking about some kind of blizzard about genetics and my child. Like he was drunk or drugged. Some kind of ragamuffin. I also talked about the institute. Maybe someone who was fired decided to ask for a refund in such an eccentric way." I leaned back in my chair. "Ilana, you need to get married, urgently. Otherwise I'll go crazy. When you're here, you need to be spoon-fed. Otherwise you'll starve to death on the computer. When you're there, the crazies are after you. You need someone to take care of you, and if necessary, whip you with a belt. Or with a whip. What's in fashion there now? It's already inconvenient for me to do this. Don't start talking about Hermann." Ilana waved her hands. "This prodigy of yours will show himself again. Mark my words. Smart guy. Polite. And he's obviously not indifferent to you. Smart, but in the wrong direction. Okay, that's enough. Let's close the subject. Since I'm here." "Yes, I understand. We can't wait for breakfast." I got up from the table and stretched, kneading the dice. "On speed dial 1 there is a restaurant with delivery nearby. I'll check it out in the morning. And to sleep at least 6 hours. On the bed linen, it's in the sofa. Is that clear?" Ilana beamed. "It will be done. Will you give me an assignment?" "Yeah, give it here." Ilana sat down in my seat, and I pointed at the screen. "Reports from your beloved Herman's department. I don't like a lot of things here. Do you see the write-off? And here it is again. The reasons are different, but the period is almost the same. And why is there a centrifuge so often? Here, too." "It's not enough to get fired," the daughter sighed. "You're evil. I just want to know what's going on in my company. Maybe they're making a cake for my birthday? We don't really know. Anyway, try to figure it out. There's no better analyst than you." The compliment went into the void. Ilana was already immersed in the report. I kissed the top of her head and went into the next room. There's a sofa here that no one ever sleeps on. There's a TV that no one ever watches. A minibar with the same bleak fate. Only the shower and toilet somehow justify their existence. And the sink, of course. After wetting my face with cold water, I said to the reflection, "That's it. Now you're the most carefree person in the world with your own Rolls Royce. Go for a ride. Look at how your wife looks when she's awake." When I got to the parking lot, The sunset had turned into a smoldering cigarette butt on the horizon. This thought gave me an idea. Sitting on the hood of the Royce, I took a cigar from the inside pocket of my jacket and was about to light a lighter, almost ready to spend 15 precious minutes on nicotine meditation, when the quiet idyll of a summer evening was broken by sobs. That's how a child who was beaten by drunk parents could cry. That's how a medal winner who was raped at graduation could cry. Only the voice is a little rough. I walked past Herman's Audi, rounded Ilana's Mercedes, and saw something that made me want to cry myself. A dirty, smelly homeless man was sitting on the hood of a rusty Lada with flat tires, covering his face with his hands. I don't often visit their habitats, so I couldn't figure out what kind of clothes he was wearing. The same as all homeless people. It's like it's growing on their bodies, honestly. It matures together with the carrier, keeping the same form, or rather the absence of any form. So, in the parking lot for the employees of my company, my institute, a homeless man is crying, sitting on a vehicle that should not be here in the world. I could have turned a blind eye to a homeless man. I would not have paid attention to the Lada. But together they presented such a sad and colorful picture that it was impossible to pass by. I would like to take such a picture against the sunset, but I don't have a camera, and it's kind of boring to shoot on my phone. Besides, the homeless man's tears touched me in a strange way. In the cacophony of fumes emanating from him, there was no sense of alcohol. I came closer, kicked the wheel, and said, "I have a jack and a pump in the trunk." The homeless man looked up at me with tear-stained eyes, and I was confused. Not some kind of bum. The eyes don't ask for the bottle. The face is young. The guy's about 25 years old at most. He's not bad, but he has a scar from his right eye to his cheek. "Even if you had a chest of gold there, nothing could be changed," the guy exclaimed. "Well, let's take the wheels off the Audi," I shrugged. "Got a hammer?" "In my opinion, you can put anything on a Lada if you know where to hit it." "It's just as I thought," the guy sighed. "Only worries about things. Cars, clothes. No wonder she rejected me. Finally, we got to the bottom of it. Somehow, it even got boring." I hid the cigar. "Don't despair," he said, trying to maintain his father's intonation. "You don't look like a prince, of course, but that's easily fixable. And the girls, there are many of them, and it only seems that the light has come together in a wedge on one of them. I agreed on this one. Come on. You're a grown-up guy, worn out by life. You seem to have more serious problems than that." "I have one problem," the guy shouted, slamming his fist on the windshield of his perch. "And one solution." I was hoping she would understand, but that's it now. The world doesn't have a chance anymore. Although, I won't give up. It may take me another 10 years to study all the psychology books, but I won't give up. Honest psychos can't be cured. I remembered a line from an ancient song. I suddenly saw myself from the outside. I'm standing there comforting a homeless man in love instead of having dinner with my wife. It got dark. "Listen," I said. "If you want, I can give you a ride somewhere and give you money for psychology textbooks. But I really have to go." "Where do you live?" A crazy light lit up in the guy's eyes. "What about now?" "Come on, I'll show you." He jumped to the ground and invitingly opened the passenger door of the Lada. I backed away. I imagined tomorrow's yellow newspaper headlines. The CEO of the largest private research institute was strangled by his lover in a Lada, or something like that. I even submitted a photo. My head is thrown back so stupidly on it, and there's a black slit from ear to ear. Black and white for some reason. The old me. "Don't be afraid," the homeless man encouraged me. "I screwed up anyway. What difference does it make now?" "That's right," someone thought with my brain. And then he walked up to the door with my feet and shoved my ass inside. It stinks in here. There is no dashboard, but there are so many devices that the car from Back to the Future smokes nervously. Everything sparkles, blinks, wires, circuits. "An amplifier?" I asked, nodding at the whole mess as the guy got behind the wheel. "It's an amplifier." He pointed at the diagrams. "And here is a field generator. There under the hood is the main unit, and here is what burns frequently." I would have done the same. The guy turned the key. Instead of the expected sneeze, accompanied by the rumble of the muffler falling off, there was a pleasant hum. I searched for my seatbelt, but it was no use. And when he looked in front of him again, he screamed in a bad voice. Rather, I would have screamed if it hadn't been for a dirty hand smelling of a Moscow State University graduate's nightmare. "Shut up," the guy hissed. "Don't make a sound until the patrols fly by." The palm disappeared. I was silent. I'm actually an intelligent guy. It wouldn't be interesting to make a movie about me. They said, "Patrols." I'm sitting here waiting for the patrol. Let them fly by if necessary. Meanwhile, I'm looking at where my fortress of 30 floors with outbuildings just stood. The fortress remained, and so did the outbuildings. But there are no more than 2 floors left. However, you can't tell in the dark. Maybe 3. The Mercedes, the Audi, and, worst of all, the Rolls-Royce were gone. I'm sorry about the Royce, but it's still a gift. Yes, not any, but the presidential one for the contribution. Somewhere out there I don't remember anymore. I've invested everywhere. However, I got a good return. There was a noise. Shadows of aircraft appeared against the background of the starry sky. Searchlight beams swept across the ground. "Patrols," I thought reverently. "Don't move," the guy whispered. The beam slid across our shelter, blinding us with a cold white light for a moment, and disappeared. The patrols flew by. "I think they're automatic weapons," the guy said, getting out of the car. "Every day at the same time. I always hide until they notice." "Who?" I also got out to the dump, which turned into a parking lot. Aliens. Aliens. Probably. Maybe mutant moles. Or the hares or virtuosos. Anyway, there weren't any until everyone died. Come on, it's not safe here. Dogs rage at night. Stumbling over pieces of concrete, crunching broken glass, I followed Virgil to the gates of hell. While my Beatrice throws darts at my picture. Or sleeping with a lover. Or eating ice cream in front of the TV. Honestly, I can't imagine what she does all day. I even wanted to install cameras out of curiosity, but I got distracted and then forgot. It was like a flash of lightning in my head. I stopped in the middle of the dump and realized that it was the remains of my fortress. "They planted a bomb 3 years ago," the guy said. "He miraculously survived. I've been hiding ever since." "You did well. I respect you." There were no doors. The turnstile is broken, but it's strangely clean inside. Although not a single pane of glass remained intact. The guy clapped his hands 5 times, and the light came on. The windows were boarded up. "Can you help me?" The 2 of us, puffing, pushed first the coffee machine to the doorway, and then the machine with chips and soda. However, without chips and soda. After making sure that there was no gap between the machines, the guy beckoned me to follow him. We went to one of the labs on the ground floor. Now it looked more like a warehouse or a garbage dump. "I stole everything here, from all the floors, so as not to run," the guy said, dodging between tables littered with computers and appliances, jumping over tripods with test tubes. And there were a lot of papers. Most of it was handwritten, but there were also printouts. We went to a small table in the corner. The guy offered me an antique oscilloscope, and I sat down. He took out a cigar and looked for permission. The guy who sat on the swivel chair nodded and held out his hand. I took out a second cigar. Fragrant smoke perfectly complemented the atmosphere. I wish I had some cognac now. For some reason, I even liked it here. "It all started when I was 10, the guy said. The world passed away in less than a year, leaving me alone. I came here to look for the root of evil. Although I knew it was too late, it turned out that I was too dumb to figure it out. I had to go through all the city's bookstores, libraries, and institutes. The place stank of decomposing corpses, and I was bringing books here on a supermarket cart. I imagined this scene in the form of a photograph. Something got me carried away in the photo today. I don't like acting or filming. Even the reporters always manage to slip in the deputies for this case. I was also teased in the press for being a gray cardinal. When I was 15, I untangled the tangle. Are you interested?" "So far, yes," I nodded. "I keep trying to find a lyrical component here, but go on. I feel the turn will be sudden. Development of bacteriological weapons, trivial and simple." "Nonsense," I blurted out. "Yes, to to be here. The guy took off and threw a pile of papers into my lap. At the top, I recognized the report I'd left Ilana poring over. On the 30th floor. See? The guy was pointing at the columns of numbers. Shortages, write-offs, unscheduled requests. It's as clear as day to me now. This G.I. Gnadov created the perfect virus, secretly from everyone. And here are the newspapers, see? And compare it with these memos. The newspaper fell out of my hands. I kept the cigar, though, and thanks for that. As I understand it, this Albert Stogov has entrusted his daughter with an internal investigation, the guy was saying. Here is the result. She found out the truth and died in a car accident. At first I didn't think much of it, but then I watched a few Russian TV series to get into the atmosphere of the past, and it dawned on me. Gnadov is a murderer. Ilana visited him in the laboratory, in his office, too often lately. And now look at this. He triumphantly pulled out another paper. The day after her death, an experience exchange commission arrives from the USA. Gnadov's research is of particular interest. And here, it's easier than a damn turnip. Anonymous sponsorship for his research, $5 million. They planned everything, and Ilana managed to get involved. Wait a minute. I put the papers down and stared at the guy, who now looked like he was having a seizure. He seemed to be bursting after years of solitude. Are you saying that Gnadov worked for the Americans? Created a bacteriological weapon? I just didn't take into account the speed of reproduction and the ability to mutate, the guy grinned. The world has been empty for a year. And you? I didn't even sneeze. Immunity. And this is the second part of my story. Having figured out the reason, I began to study genetics, chemistry, biology, and all related disciplines. I found DNA samples of all the employees here and began comparing them with my own, trying to understand the reason. Got it? Yeah. My DNA turned out to be unique in... He shot me a dismissive look. However, you won't understand. The main thing is that it turned out to be unique, immune to the virus. For the sake of boredom, I tried to calculate the probability of immunity in my children. It was necessary to have fun somehow. He crossed himself with all the employees. Pervert, I muttered, blowing a stream of smoke at the ceiling. Call me whatever you want. After the 9th test, I gave up. But then Ilana Stogova's sample caught my eye. By that time, I already understood what had happened to her and admired her courage. I loved looking at her photos. I fell in love with her, you know? A real person. Not like that gray cardinal, her father. I bet she told him. But he didn't believe her. Well, yes, that's probably how it was, I thought. Or rather, it will be. Anyway, I made one last attempt and believed in miracles, in providence. Our offspring would have fixed the mutation. Complete immunity to the Gnadov virus, and to any other too. Humanity had a tiny chance left, and I drove off to get physics textbooks. Physics, I repeated, not taking my eyes off the guy's flushed face. Well, yes. Then electronics, microelectronics, quantum physics, trial and error. Just a second. I stubbed out my cigarette butt on the metal side of the oscilloscope. Now let me ask questions, and you just nod or shake your head. Have you studied the entire internal order of the Institute in 5 years, solved at least 3 crimes and perfectly comprehended genetics? The guy nodded. Then you found a way to defeat the virus that wiped out the entire population of the Earth? A nod. Then you built a time machine out of logs, plywood, and some kind of mother? Again he nodded. He doesn't even seem to understand my amazement. Did you go back in time and try to persuade Ilana Stogova to have children? She turned you down, and you were going to fly back to study psychology? What are you getting at? The guy grimaced. Actually, I'm wasting my time. You need to start studying psychology now, while your impressions are fresh. And I have to calibrate the car. After all, it's designed for one interval, and Ilana has already made an impression on me there. I should have done it earlier. Do you think it's that simple? I'll definitely have another year to mess around. Many details are so rare. We'll have to go to the next town. That's not enough here. The main thing is not to get caught by the patrols. What's your name? I whispered, expecting to hear the name of the new religion. Pavel. Smirnov Pavel Nikitovich. It means Smirnism. Well, what about it? I like. Tomorrow I will be baptized and begin to preach. I got it, Pasha. Take me back. He couldn't hide the disappointment in his eyes. My heart ached. Giving a fiery speech, Pavel must have believed that now he was not alone. That someone else would share his suffering and help save the world. Yes, of course, he muttered. Thank you for listening. Now I feel a little better. I put the creepy newspaper in my pocket while Pasha was looking for a flashlight. On the way to the Lada, I took out my phone, just to make sure. Emergency calls only, the message on the display said. But I wonder if I dialed 112 now, would a virtuoso rabbit answer me? I didn't want to check something. It's just like the first time. A turn of the key, and my fortress shone with all 30 floors. The Audi is gone, the Mercedes and the Royce are still there. I was in no hurry to get out. Tell me, Pasha, where did you put the car? Reserved for the head of department number 10, Pavel reported. I took sick leave yesterday, no risk. I closed my eyes. He took into account absolutely everything except... It was hard not to laugh. I opened the door. Come with me. Why? For textbooks. Pavel looked colorful in the Royce. I turned on the interior light. Let the nuts bite their mouths. As I drove out of the parking lot, I glanced at Pavel, who looked downcast. Didn't you think it would be easier and safer to get books and details here? He didn't look like he was thinking. But now... Yes, you are a genius, Pasha shouted. Exactly. All you have to do is go back and collect the money. We'll solve the money problem, I reassured him. They can be earned by benefiting society at the same time. How's that idea? I wish I could save this society, he sighed. I've gone through everything. A terrorist attack. What if the virus is already dangerous? Convince that dumb Albert Stogoff? May he listen to me. Ilana is the only way out, and I've worn it all out. You lazy fool. I would have prepared right away. I didn't consider too many options. I smiled. Did you like it that much? I love her. He hadn't even looked at the forever lost world flying past the windows. Since he was 15. And more every day. When I saw her, the real one, all the words got mixed up. What was I carrying? God. He started crying. I didn't say anything because my words were all mixed up too. The gates opened. I stopped the car in front of the house. Just a house, not a fortress. 3 floors, 2 wings, Baroque design, and there are more servants than tenants. Pavel opened his mouth, looking at the illuminated statues, the pool, and the stucco facade. What is this place? What is it? He whispered. The food here is good, I said. Comfortable beds, underfloor heating. I come by sometimes. The library is also decent. Pavel shook his head. Time. You are the lord of time, Pasha. Do not rush. Take a bath, eat, get some sleep. Then we'll buy textbooks and make a list of details. If that's all you need, of course. I think you gave up quickly about Ilana. She's a girl. Start small. Flowers, a restaurant, a movie, a kiss. Are you blushing now? It's just a kiss, for God's sake. How are you going to make children, hero? He paused, finding no objections. Still, if you prepare. Another year? And then, further into the past? How old are you? 26. And she's 25. One day you'll find yourself in your 70s, looking for a cure for senile impotence while calibrating a time machine. What about love, huh? I nudged his shoulder. Shut up now. I need to make a phone call. Ilana picked up the phone on the second ring and said, That son of a bitch is up to something. I don't know what yet, but it's so disgusting that I definitely won't marry him. No problem. I found someone else for you, I grinned. Dad, are you kidding me? Drop everything and listen to me. Now block the entire department of this son of a bitch from my computer. Cancel the pass. Did I mention that you are the best dad in the world? You'll tell me. Farther, prepare a pass for Pavel Nikitovich Smirnov for tomorrow, to the Human Resources Department. This is the new head of the department and your husband. Is that clear? I got it. I'm doing everything. What? I take it you haven't eaten? Wait, Dad. What are you talking about? Answer questions quickly. Clearly and to the point, Smirnova. No, I haven't eaten, my daughter hissed. Do everything I said and go home. That psycho's car is still in the parking lot next to mine. Don't worry, I've neutralized the psycho. I kiss you, darling. We're waiting for dinner. I dropped the call and tapped the steering wheel with my fingers. What else did I want? Oh yes. He dialed another number. They answered on the fifth ring in such a nasty, ingratiating voice that I winced. Yes, Albert Semyonovich? Hi, Herman. You're fired. The voice choked. How? Why? But for fun. I wanted to. I'll call the school where I studied tomorrow and ask them to give you a place as a biology teacher. If I find out that you are not working or leaving the city, all your dirty laundry will be handed over to the FSB. And there's a lot there. In general, a new life begins. Are you happy? Yes, the receiver sobbed. You like kids, don't you? More than anything in the world, Albert Semyonovich. You see, what a subtle connoisseur of human souls I am. Don't thank me, don't. Sweet dreams. Putting the phone in my pocket, I looked at Pasha and burst out laughing. What a face. What is the name of this car? Stop it, he shouted. What kind of parking space? Rolls-Royce Phantom, number 1. Why are you banging yourself on the head? There's a brain in there, stop it. You'll break more. Let's go meet my mother-in-law. I wonder what she's like now.